Hey there, I'm Adroit and welcome back to the channel. In my most recent video, I talked about how I needed to catch up in multiple racing games. One of them was Full Throttle 2, and as you may know, I've already done 2 videos on the game from leaks and updates we have in the Full Throttle Discord server. If you want to join that Discord server, feel free to do so, there will be a link in the description. This time, we'll be covering information from December 2020 and all the way to the end of January. And I have a feeling we have a lot to talk about. Alright, and before we start, here's a little reminder that you can indeed post your suggestions or paint rap, and even discuss about the development of Full Throttle 2 in the Discord server I mentioned earlier. Oh, and here's a time chart if you want to look at a specific part of the video. Now, it's time to analyze some spicy leaks. Alright, so the first things I want to mention are the 4 new answers in the FT2 FAQ channel by Kovezri. Question 1. Will FT2 be on mobile, console or PC? The answer, yes. Full Throttle 2 will be available on all platforms. Can you add turbo upgrades to Full Throttle 2? The answer is yes. Turbo upgrades will be in Full Throttle 2, and yes, they will include turbo sounds. Question 3. Can you change gear ratios in Full Throttle 2? The answer is yes. You will be able to tune every individual gear, and you will be able to make changes to your final drive ratio. Question 4. Can you adjust camber in Full Throttle 2? The answer is yes. So let's see, the platform compatibility for console and mobile was already mentioned a few times, but turbos, gear ratio, and camber are things that we don't currently have in Full Throttle. I'm happy to see those in, because they'll allow us to customize our cars even further. But sadly, I can already predict some people will cause disasters on purpose with a camber. Alright, now let's start looking at the pictures in the FT2 leaks. Vehicle models are something that we've already seen in previous videos, but Creed's added little tweaks about copywriting, because copyrights have been the bane of Roblox racing games for a long time. As Creed said, I'll try not to stray away too much from the real-life car models, but enough to not have Full Throttle 2 cancelled, so we'll have relatively realistic-looking cars. Vehicle customization is something all car games need, especially arcade ones. Here in Full Throttle 2, you can see that we'll have at least some spoilers and hoods to play with. Now that leads to something I was wondering. Could it be possible that we also get oversized engines for muscle cars? I mean, it's something we don't see super often in Roblox, and it could be interesting. Something resembling Mad Max vehicles, or funny cars would be cool to see, especially to spice up drag races. We also have many color wraps for each car, just like in Full Throttle. There will be 10 categories and 110 wraps at launch. Here are all the categories. If you want to look at them in details, feel free to pause the video. Just for general information, there are 24 wraps that require a paid access, so the remaining 86 should normally be available to everyone. And now that I look at it in details, I think it's pretty safe to assume that there will be a premium pass. That will surely be similar to the current VIP Gamepass that we have in Full Throttle. I'm thinking about bonus currency, limited vanity items, and access to some restricted locations. Alright, I also forgot to mention different choices of license plates and vanity exhaust pipes. Reed said he would add more in the future, so we'll see what happens with that. I've already mentioned this section in the second video, but wheels in general have been updated once again. It seems that we have even more content to look at. The brakes are now meshes. I'm pretty sure this will help with the optimization. And apparently we can change their color. In any case, we'll learn more in the future. We've already talked about the tires, but here are more images about the numbers of customizing possibilities in game, which I reckon is pretty amazing. Next, we'll be able to change the rim size and the camber. And again, I know there are gonna be some pretty cool builds, but some, let's say, creative builds too. We've already seen some props during the second video, but they were all pretty far away and not exactly in the best angle. Now let's take a close look at a stoplight and a bin. Both props at this point aren't even comparable to Full Throttle's original props. I'm gonna be honest here, these are probably the most detailed props I've ever seen in a Roblox racing game. Next, we'll have a look at the different settings for lighting and reflections. I don't know if Roblox uses ray tracing, but it looks really good with the future lighting engine. You can really see all the shadows from the sun and lampposts. I mean, after seeing this, I think it'll be pretty similar to current lighting settings we have in Full Throttle. Also, I just noticed how big this bench was. Now, here's something I was pretty excited to see. I'm talking about Full Throttle 2's map. Since the previous map was cancelled and put into the Full Throttle New Horizon update in December 2020, I personally think it was a good idea to put it into Full Throttle, because it represents well the evolution of Cree's building skills between 2018 and 2020. And also a hint of what sort of graphical style we can expect in Full Throttle 2. But before we get into the main analysis of the map, I need to do two disclaimers. First, Chris told me that the map structure was made in Unreal Engine, so it might not look exactly the same lighting wise. Second, as Chris also said, it's a work in progress, so there might be modifications in the future. Anyways, let's start with the general impression. The map is a mix of coastal zones, mountains, fields, forests and cities. It gives me the impression of being way larger than the Full Throttle Horizon City map, because of the sheer amount of roads. The map honestly makes me think of the map in Sleeping Dogs, an island with quite highly angled slopes. Now onto the main locations. First, we have a big city, which seems to be split in two main parts and connected by two bridges, which leads me to think that there will be a harbor. And second, we have a smaller city, which also looks like a coastal town. And we also have not one, but two mountain passes. And I feel like they're gonna be really fun to drive, especially this one. The last location in the picture is an airport, because it's a Full Throttle classic for drag races, and this one looks like it's gonna be quite long. We're now proceeding to the final phase of analyzation of this picture, non-labeled details. First, we have what seems to be two lakes, then three tunnels on the left that could eventually be used for map expansions, probably a valley between the two mountains, even more curvy roads here and there, and something that rather looks like a highway. Okay, we're finally done with this picture. But now let's compare the size of the map with the actual 3D model of the map, just to give you an idea of how gigantic this map really is. Also, apparently, this is a 4-lane road. Okay, I think we've talked about Grease enough for today, so let's take a look at what Logan's been up to, because he's actually been uploading short clips of experiments on his YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe to him, the link will also be in the description. So here we have a picture with different values. These represent the upgrade percentage for each upgrade tier, being stock, street, sport, race and pro. Here's my guess for how the upgrades are gonna work. Each upgrade will have its set bonus amount. Let's suppose we have the OD RS3, that all the upgrades are set to pro and only affect acceleration, because I'm fairly certain they won't all affect both top speed and acceleration. The server will add a percentage together for a total of 100 bonus acceleration, doubling the initial stat. Now for balancing, I hope the high tier cars are gonna have less bonuses, else they would go way too fast. Now we're gonna discuss about some of the rumors that have been going around in the Full Throttle Discord server. I personally haven't seen anything by the dev team about them, so I'm not gonna expand too much. First, a Chassis rework, the most probable one. Full Throttle 2 is a totally separate game from Full Throttle, so of course the car mechanics and physics should be slightly different, especially for bug fixing and optimizing. Second, housing. I think housing may be possible, especially for fast travel, temporarily limiting the maximum number of vehicles per user and maybe even for hidden features or Easter eggs. But I don't think it will be a feature during launch. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, Pagani fan too, and he told me to talk about the resemblances between Full Throttle New Horizon and Full Throttle 2. I think he's partially right, because once again, the new map gives us the general idea of what to expect visually. Alright, we're almost done. I just wanted to take 2 minutes to share 3 of my personal suggestions with you guys before I conclude this video. First of all, I think some form of global leaderboard for different stats would be interesting, like the longest jump, highest ranked players, most distance driven, most distance drift, and so forth. I would probably make them a bit hidden so you don't see giant panels that spawn. Maybe inside a race center, where you can view all of them, claim codes, rank up rewards, and more. And second, reverting to props collision would be nice too, because it's really annoying, especially during races. The third and final one would be to have a proper drift score calculation that would include the drift angle, speed, and even maybe multipliers, because at the moment, drifting has pretty much no impact on gameplay progress. Oh, finally, we're done. Well, thank you for staying until the end, as always. If you want to subscribe, keep in mind that it really motivates me doing videos like this. I mean, the script alone is over 2.4 thousand words. It took me about 10 hours to write and research. Also, just a reminder that you can join the Full Throttle Discord server by selecting the link in the description. Anyways, I'll see you guys in another video. Have a good one. Actually, we're not done yet, because Creeds just announced there would be interiors and opening doors. But nobody is gonna see that part. Ah, whatever.